Hello everyone, welcome in today to another episode of the Coach KJ Carousel Dynasty, and this episode's going to be a little different than normal. Unfortunately, something happened with the mod, and I can't play North Texas. It will not let me play them. I'll show it off and hear what happens, and just like, they don't exist basically. It shows the team, but when you go to try to play them, their uniforms, they're not there, and they're just grayed out as you can see on the screen here. And then if you try to play them, it just crashes the game, so I don't know what happened. The only thing I can think of is it's related to the update, and I'm done with the season. I still have the postseason stuff to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and look into that and see if there are any other issues. I noticed I tried to edit a player on Stanford, and he's been having a really good year. I was just gonna give him a better look, so that way if he ended up in our franchise, he didn't have just like base look. Like, I gave him a new visor and stuff like that, and it kept crashing every time. So I gotta look into that a little more before I do the bowl games, or I guess maybe it'll be after I do the bowl games. We'll see. I'm gonna see if maybe I uninstall the mod, if it'll work, and I'll check out North Texas and see if it'll load, because even if I go to their screen, it doesn't work. It doesn't let me look at their players. It just freezes anytime I click on them. It'll load them, and then they're in the gray uniform, and that's it. So something happened in the mod, and I gotta figure it out. We did, however, end up beating North Texas. Thankfully, I just had to sim the game. It was the only option I had, but we got a 38-24 victory, and you know what? I'm okay with it. We threw for 302 yards, and we controlled the game at time of possession. We had one turnover, which is kind of on brand, and of course it was an interception for Jack Garola. He went 27-46 for 302 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. He completed 58% of his passes. That's not bad, and I don't know if I would have done a whole lot better with him. Like I said, North Texas wasn't as bad as I thought they were, so I'll take it. On the ground, Guyassi Blanks had 7 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. That's 7.1 yards per carry. Quantel Johnson took 6 for 43, which is also 7.1 yards per carry. We didn't run the ball a lot, but we are a bit more of an air raid offense, so I'm not that shocked simming it to see it end up this way. Emmanuel Henderson had a touchdown reception, as did Guyassi Blanks, and it looks like Malik Mega might have led us in yards. Van Dyke allowed a sack. Other than that, it looks like our O-line played pretty well. Now let's take a look at our defense. JJ White led us in tackles with 7. He also had 2 TFLs. He didn't have any sacks, which means they all came on the ground, which is okay. I'm fine with him being a great run stuffer. Nathan Osborne had 3 TFLs, which I thought was really impressive. Looking at sacks, I know we had a half of one for McCaffrey and a half of one for Osborne. That was it. Interceptions, we didn't have any turnovers, so it is what it is. Mahalik drilled his 1 field goal. Bell had a pretty good day punting. Returning it, looks like we didn't do anything special there. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at North Texas's stats, and it looks like Earl had a really good touchdown to interception ratio. However, his completion percentage sucked. He only hit 42% of his passes. However, they went for 293 yards and 3 scores, so he did a good job when he took his opportunities. On the ground, Gums did really well, and then he also caught the ball really well with 157 yards and a touchdown. I gotta look into him a little bit and see what he plays exactly, because that's a pretty impressive stat line, but we got the win, so I'm happy we were able to shut him down enough. Valea had 2 TFLs, and it looks like he was the only one on the entire North Texas defense to get any TFLs at all. One of them, of course, was a sack, so the other one came in the ground, and then our interception went to Hendrickson. No idea what position he plays. He lost a yard, but hey, we moved to 7-2 on the season. North Texas is going to drop to 6-4. This is not the way I was hoping to present this game, but I figured I might just as well still show it off. And I thought about mixing it in with another episode, but I'd rather it still be a standalone, then I can at least look back and see what the stats look like and have it be its own thing. Coming out of that game, though, defensive coordinator Ken Wilson had an upgrade. We went ahead and dropped it into shutdown. It makes the most sense. We need some coverage help, and I think teams like to throw the ball, so it's good for us to help improve our pass defense. Now let's take a look at our Heisman standings. It looks like Jamarian Miller remains number 1. And it looks like Lieberger remains number 2. However, Kyle McCord jumps to 3. Milrow is up to 4 out of Bama, and 5 is Aaron Dumas returning to the rankings, as he was once all the way up, I think, to number 3. Now let's take a look at our top 25. Penn State's number 1, number 2 is Alabama, 3 is Ohio State, and 4 is somehow still Mid-Tennessee State. Taking a look at this, Alabama's already 10-0, so they're only 2 wins away from securing themselves a playoff spot, because I believe with records like these, there's a good chance that even if they lose the championship game, they'd still get into the playoffs. So Alabama's well on their way. Oregon lost. That was their 2nd loss on the season, so they dropped down to 14. We're up to 16, and Miami lost to Western Michigan, and that dropped them from 5 to 17. I'm happy about that, and I'm also glad to see Georgia moves into the rankings. They're number 23 in the nation. They should be be higher than that. But hey, I'm just glad to see they're ranked. They have the same record as us, so I don't know how we're still ahead of them. Next week, though, we're taking on South Carolina, and this is going to be a pretty big matchup for us. One, I'm glad we actually do get to play this game. I can confirm that because I immediately, after I did everything I could think of, jumped into this one and was like, let's see if it's just broken, but it wasn't. We went ahead. We do get to play South Carolina, so it'll be back to our normal episode format. We do have a pretty good advantage in it, and I do think we'll be able to win it. As South Carolina's on par basically with North Texas, who we were able to beat in the sim, so I think it'll be no problem with me playing the game. But this is LDJ11. I'm sorry for the weird format. I'm sorry for the mistake here. It's just when I did the update to the mod, it didn't work right, so I'll figure it out, and we'll be back to normal. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe, and I'm out.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink, cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar.